Aristotle.
Of course he's dead. The dosage was too large.
You killed him.
No, I did not. I gave him life.
Hey guys, what's up? It's John Grande. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday evening. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling Gucci? Or are you feeling somewhere in between? Well, there is no in between because I know you're happy because you're watching the one and only Pajama Pants Player. But let me get to the main topic of today, and that is horror film number 17 on my all-time favorite, classic, awesome, killer horror films. And of course, I am talking about H.P. Lovecraft's The Reanimator. It's actually Stuart Gordon's Reanimator, and easily my favorite Stuart Gordon film, and number 17 on my all-time favorite top 20 horror movies. And let me tell you why Reanimator makes the list. It probably makes about 95% of top 20 horror film lists. As I don't know how many there are out there, but it's a classic of the genre. Everybody agrees it's a classic of the genre, and it's definitely one that I'm pretty sure wouldn't surprise anybody. Like, oh, he's Reanimator in his top 20? Like, I mean, maybe it surprises people that it's a little lower on the list, but I don't know. There's 16 more movies other than this babe right here that I feel strongly about, or stronger about, I should say. But this is one of those magical movies, man, that just came along and was just really, really like, it was, I don't know if it was a game changer in horror, but it really like, it set a tone for the years to come that just couldn't top it. Like, to me, the year that this came out, 1985, I don't think horror movies in the 80s actually, like, never ever, I don't think horror ever got better than that year, 1985. I mean, you had shit like Friday 5 and this and Return of the Living Dead, which you'll see some of those movies later on my list. There's definitely a bunch of 1985 on this list, and I don't think, like, 86 and onward, I don't think we've had a year that's even come close to this, and people would probably disagree. 87's a good year in horror. You know, I actually really, guilty pleasure, I like 89 because it's almost like horror was kind of dying that year. Even 1990 is a really good year. You know, a lot of people disagree that 89 horror was dying, but it kind of was. It was almost like, it's almost like music. It's like in the late 80s, the era of the heavy metal hair bands was kind of dying, and then Nirvana came along and created this grunge shit that I don't like, and that's why I don't like a lot of, early horror movies of the 90s, and then, Scream came along, and that was kind of our Nirvana, but I like that Nirvana, so sorry, I'm babbling a lot. I'm not talking about Reanimator, but I will right now. It stars Jeffrey Combs in easily his best role. I don't really like Jeffrey Combs in anything else, call me crazy. I like him in this movie. I saw him in a movie called Would You Rather? Fucking horrible. I thought he was horrible in it, really over the top in that movie, and it didn't work. But he's over the top in this movie, and it absolutely works perfectly. So you got Jeffrey Combs, and he's playing Herbert West, and he's like this, he's like this mad scientist, I guess you want to call him. I don't know how you'd really classify what he does. And Bruce Abbott plays his friend Dan Kane, and they together, Jeffrey Combs' character is trying to create this green serum that brings dead bodies back to life and pretty much reanimates the corpses of the living dead of the dead. And therefore, that's where you kind of get your plot, and they're taking this kind of class, and their teacher is kind of a prick to him, and he's like calling him out. He's like, "Man, you're not even teaching. This is like baby shit, man. You're not teaching us the real stuff about brain surgery and all this cool stuff." And there is a bunch of fucking great gore scenes in this. Not sure who did the makeup in this movie, but it is phenomenal, man. I love the fucking makeup in this movie. Yeah, but it's just it flows very well too. I mean, Jeffrey Combs moves in with Bruce Abbott's character, and you know, Bruce Abbott's girlfriend in the movie, she's kind of skeptical about it. She's like, "Oh, he's fucking weird," you know. And there's these great scenes where, like, you know, the cat is dead, and he gives him the serum, and the cat's just going fucking crazy. And there's these great scenes of them like trying to get the cat off of Jeffrey Combs, and Jeffrey Combs is just, his facial expressions just sell the whole movie. He's just like, where'd it go? Where the fuck did the cat go? And it's like, what the fuck? Like you couldn't imagine the people on set, like, not, keeping a straight face, like, how could you keep a straight face with Jeffrey Combs acting the way he acts in this? I don't think there was any possible way. And yeah, so there's a lot of hokey stuff in it too. I love the security guard in this film who's kind of guarding the morgue, and he's always reading like porn and shit. And he's like, I'm gonna go take an hour or so off, and he just fucking walks away with his trench coat. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, that's a great security guard if you ask me. But it eventually gets into Dan Cain's girlfriend's father owns this like morgue place, and they sneak into there, get past this horrible security guard, and they reanimate one of the, corpses that's fresher. That has died maybe, a day or so, or they say in the movie, I forget, but, and the corpse comes to life, and it's almost like a zombie. It's almost like, it's almost like, yeah, it's pretty much a zombie, and it attacks them, and eventually in the process kills, Bruce Abbott's girlfriend's father. And then they try it a few minutes later on him, and he's not the same. And it's just a bunch of, like, really cool reanimation scenes of corpses. It's like, all right, now we'll try it with him. Now we'll try it with him. And Jeffrey Combs is like, we need to get it fresher. And I always love the way this movie opened too. And he says, you killed that man. And he says, no, I gave him life. And then you get this like awesome score. Awesome stuff, man. I love the score in this movie. Really, really fun. It's a fun horror movie. It's a movie that when I first watched it, I thought I was going to take it seriously. I thought it was more of a serious horror film. Because usually, funny, hokey horror movies don't get that classic stamp of approval on them, but this is one of those movies that absolutely just balances the two so well that you can't even, really complain about it. It's just awesome. And, eventually, I won't spoil anything, but the teacher that Jeffrey Combs was calling out, eventually gets killed and reanimated, and I always thought that was a really cool scene, but in his case, he's actually like, he can function and can think and stuff, although he's been decapitated, which is an awesome scene again. And there's just these great, like, he's trying to balance the decapitated head on his desk, and it just keeps falling over, like little things like that, little subtle kind of pokes and jabs at you, just fucking scream awesome 80s movies to me, especially from 1985, and I think Reanimator is one of those movies that has and will always stand the test of time. I think it's an absolute classic. Stuart Gordon went on to make other good movies, but this is actually probably my favorite Stuart Gordon movie. A lot of people like Dolls, a lot of people, Dagon, I think it's called. He's made other movies that are good, but to me, Reanimator is cream of the crop when it comes to Mr. Stuart Gordon. And, H.P. Lovecraft, man. Can't go wrong. But that's Reanimator from 1985. It's number 1717 on the list, and that's going to be all for now, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, it's a short one. I have work in a little bit. I got some homework to do, and I don't know. I got a lot of things to juggle around this weekend, so I figured I'd just get to the video real quick, shoot it out there, and let you all enjoy number 17.